Hey dog sport handlers, welcome to the Canine Handler Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Liz Joyce, your go-to expert for all things dog sport fitness. Whether you're running agility, doing protection work, tackling search and rescue, handling a tough tugger, or just looking to build strength for a lifetime of adventures with your dog, remember, you are half the team, and I'm here to help you stay strong, mobile, and injury-free. Join me as I break down the unique demands of handler fitness, speed, strength, endurance, and everything you need to perform at your best, both in and out of the ring. Let's stay strong, stay in the game, and keep doing what we love. Let's dive in. Hey team, and welcome back to the Canine Handler Fitness Podcast. I'm Liz Joyce, and today's episode is all about trial day fueling. Whether you're heading to a weekend of agility, or maybe you've got some obedience, perhaps rally, scent work, or any other dog sport, what you eat and when you eat it really can make or break your performance and also really impact how much fun you have on that day. And we've all had these days where the morning feels fantastic. This likely happens to you at work during the week too. The morning is great. You're flying around. Everything's going smoothly. And then somewhere just a little bit after lunch, your body just starts to feel heavy and your brain maybe checks out and you're wondering if you can rally for a little bit more. And maybe you go get a triple shot espresso. Maybe that's just me, but you're reaching for whatever you can to bring yourself back up to those energy levels that you had in the morning. And I want you to know that that afternoon crash is not random. And it's usually a result of a bit of a fuel mismatch where you're not taking in enough energy, or maybe it's not the best kind, or perhaps it's not at the best time. Today, we're breaking it all down into simple, doable strategies that help you stay energized, stay mentally sharp, and support recovery for multi-day trials. Let's jump in. Let's start with the obvious. A trial day is nothing like your average day. You're up real early. You're likely outside and or in a busy environment. You're navigating adrenaline spikes. Your emotions are high. And there can be long gaps and sometimes too short of gaps between bursts of really intense activity. And on top of that, a lot of y'all are eating out of coolers or fast food or perhaps hotel microwaves. And it's not ideal, but it is doable. And I've got some hacks for you. These are the things that your body really needs to excel on trial days and trial weekends. You need steady energy, not spikes and crashes. We need to fuel you for mental clarity because this is high pressure situations, and having good mental clarity is going to help a lot. We also need to fuel you to help you recover because trials take more out of you than you realize. Not even just physical output, but emotional and mental output all require fueling. Your brain, for example, requires up to 25% of your daily caloric intake. That's how much your brain needs to keep you tip-top. It's important to fuel for that as well. And the challenge that many of us default to is one of two things: barely eating it all because we're nervous or really distracted, or we're grabbing quick, convenient food that's high in sugar and also low in staying power. And neither one of these set you up to perform your best. Fueling well is a key part of injury prevention, focus, and stamina. We're going to start chronologically. Let's talk about breakfast. Even if you're not a morning eater, getting something into your body before you hit the ground running, in my opinion, is non-negotiable. It doesn't need to be fancy. It just has to hit the right balance. It's a super simple formula. You need some protein, some healthy fats, some fiber, and some complex carbs. This combo is going to keep your blood sugar stable, support your energy over several hours, and keep you focused and not foggy. Did you know that your brain uses approximately 25% of the calories that you take in a day? That's how much fuel and how much resources your brain takes for you to be able to operate through your day. So, not getting enough to eat not only impacts your physical output, but also really can impact your mental clarity and problem solving abilities. Here's some of my favorite trial day friendly breakfasts. These are great for any breakfast day, actually. So, the first one are overnight oats. I love to put some protein powder, some berries, and some nuts in them. That can just stay in your hotel cooler, and or you can pack it in your actual cooler with a frozen electrolyte beverage, and they are fantastic. Greek yogurt parfaits are also incredible, and if you add some granola and fruit to that combo, you're really off to the races. One of my personal favorites are an egg wrap. I love eggs. Adding some spinach and a slice of cheese is a really great way to get you off on the right foot. You might also really like something a little bit lighter, like a smoothie with a banana, some nut butter of some sort, a protein powder, and chia seeds are fantastic for omegas and also digestive regularity. I am going to side note those chia seeds though, because a lot of people come out the gate going really heavy on the chia seeds, and I'm going to recommend that you don't do that. They can really make your abdomen bloated and uncomfortable and gassy. So if you're new to chia seeds, using them on a trial day weekend is not the best thing that you can do because you don't know how you're going to react to them. So I would suggest starting with about a teaspoon of them and just see how your body does. A little less is more with those bad boys. The last real quick option is a nut butter on toast and a little boiled egg if you're on the go. Here's the things that I really want you to avoid. Sugary muffins or pastries, and also only coffee, and especially not only coffee if you're already a little anxious. If you're quite nervous in the morning, just half a banana and a quick protein shake is better than nothing. What I really like to do when I'm going to be in a high pressure situation, or I know I'm going to be lacking some sleep, so I know that my decision making power is going to be lower than it would be on one of my best days, is that I have a go-to list of things when I'm traveling that I know I can pick up and store in my hotel or bring with me places that is going to be healthy, and I know that my digestion reacts well to it and my energy responds really well to it for long periods of time. And this is highly individual. So I would suggest you taking a look at what you eat during the week and what leaves you feeling amazing, and can you make that something that's to go to take with you. We're going to talk about snacks now, and strategic snacks that are going to give you energy that lasts, because snacks really are your secret weapon, especially at trials when the lunch timing can be unpredictable, or your classes might be set up in such a way that eating at regular intervals is really challenging. Here's the golden rule. Okay, this is the most important thing, and this isn't just for trial days, y'all. This is for every day. You want a snack before you're starving. If you wait until you're lightheaded, irritable, jittery, your blood sugar's already dropped, it is going to be a lot harder to recover. You know that feeling. You start getting that little mild headache and you're ready to tear anybody's face off. You go, I am such an angry person today. And then something clicks. Oh no, actually, I just need a snack. Preemptive planned snacks will help you stay in this optimal zone where your body and your brain can perform. I'm going to suggest aiming to have a snack every 2.5 or 3 hours. Here's some smart snacks. I love these snacks, and listen up, a lot of these you can pick up at gas stations. A fruit and some nut butter. At almost any gas station, you can find a banana and a pack of nuts. That's a great combo, great snack. Next one, some type of jerky, beef jerky or turkey jerky, and a piece of fruit. Again, most gas stations are going to have jerky of some sort and some type of fruit like an apple. Next one, trail mix. with nuts and seeds and maybe a couple of dark chocolate chips because, we love that stuff. Again, this is easily found at gas stations. Protein bars are another amazing, quick, heavy hitter. What we want to be looking for, though, is a higher protein in your protein bar. A lot of bars are protein bars and they have 10 grams of protein in them, and that really just is not enough. What we're looking for are 15 to 20 or even 25 grams of protein in your protein bar. So just read the labels and pick the one that has a protein that's higher than 15, ideally closer to 20, and then compare the labels and pick the one that has the less amount of sugar. Again, those can be found in gas stations. Hummus and pretzels is a really great one, usually not in gas stations. Cheese sticks and some cherry tomatoes or a different kind of vegetable that you really like. Rice cakes with almond butter can be prepped and brought with you to the trial. What I really would suggest also is just rotating your snack choices so you don't burn out, which is going to usually have people grabbing vending machine food or something that's a little bit higher sugar. Because trust me, if your body's hungry, if you wait until you're lightheaded or irritable or jittery, your body's smart. It wants to be at a consistent energy all day. And remember what we were talking about, your brain needing such a high percentage of the calories that you intake. Your body's no fool. So if you get into that zone, you're way more likely to reach for something that is sweet and really simple carbohydrate to just get your energy back up in a really quick way. But that puts you into a bit of a cycle. It really just isn't as advantageous as consistent snacking, keeping everything a little bit more consistent for you during the day. You can listen to an upcoming episode. It is going to be coming out next week about sugar cravings and how to avoid them, where do they come from, and what are we going to do about these things. All right, let's talk about lunch now. Because there's really kind of two ways to lunch. You can either have lunch to feel recharged or perhaps have a big lunch to have a nap afterwards. And here's how to avoid that slump. We want to stick to the same principle, the same recipe as breakfast. Protein, fiber, fat, slow carbs. This combo digests slowly. It will give you longer lasting energy and it won't make you feel weighed down. Here's some really great lunch options. And I love to pack this again in a cooler. I will freeze an electrolyte beverage or water in a bottle so that I will use that as an ice pack. And then as the day goes on, I've got this ice cold, energizing amazingness in my cooler. And during the day, it's kept all the rest of my food that I brought with me cold. It's like the best hack. I love it so much. Here's some really great lunch options. A chicken or a tuna wrap and some carrots or a different vegetable that you like. People are loving these grain bowls with like brown rice and veggies and grilled meat. Avocado is great to put on there, and you can pick that up at a bunch of different places. Subway sells stuff like that too. There's also quinoa salad with some lentils, veggies, and olive oil dressing. Notice there's fats and all of these things. You could also bring some leftovers that you had from last night. Anything kind of along those lines. So just kind of think about what you're eating. You want to make sure you've got some protein, some fiber, some fat, and then some slower releasing carbs, so like complex carbs. What we want to avoid are huge portions. So you don't want to be eating like a really large amount of food. Again, that's kind of indication that you could use a snack a little while ago. So if you find yourself at lunchtime being so hungry that you want to eat a huge portion of food, it's a really good cue for you to take a look at what you ate a couple of hours before that. And can you possibly add some kind of fruit and protein into your morning? Because that will be so amazing for you. Anyhow, the things we're going to avoid are stuff like heavy pastas or greasy foods or like really big sandwiches with fries. Those kinds of things can be like quite dense and heavy and not fuel you optimally. We also really want to avoid the opposite side of that, like having a lunch of only energy drinks or energy drinks and some soda, which is paired maybe with like a high sugar meal, like a chocolate croissant or some cookies and a pop and a sweet, milk of some sort. So try to avoid things that are going to be heavy and dense and like really full of fats and larger portions. And you also really don't want to be having lunch of energy drinks. Sorry, Monster. And listen, if you know that you get nervous and you can't eat very much, a really great idea is to plan 2 smaller lunches instead of one big one. So think about like one mid-morning and one mid-afternoon and just be flexible about it. That is a really good key. I find when I'm nervous, I don't like to eat as much either. So the things that I take with me are things that are very flavorful. That is not a day that I'm going to be taking plain rice cakes and hard-boiled eggs with no salt or pepper. Like that is not a meal that I'm going to eat if I'm feeling nervous. Like I just won't eat it. So I would though bring like maybe a hard-boiled egg with salt and pepper on it and some chili flakes. And if I'm bringing the rice cakes, I would put also something flavorful on that, or bring hummus to dip it in that has like quite a bit of flavor. And I'd also make sure that I had a flavorful drink with me too, because when I'm nervous, I don't even want to drink water. So that's a little thing about me. And speaking of water, it is not optional on these trial days. It's not optional on any day. And if you're not a regular water drinker, you will be shocked at how much better you feel and your appetite during the day if you increase your water intake. It's incredible. And especially on trial days when there's stress and the movement of the day will increase your fluid needs. And did you know that dehydration can really mimic fatigue and anxiety? It messes with your coordination, decision making, and your mood. So, mild dehydration will often show up like this: headaches, low energy, brain fog. Some people get cramping. Some people have a harder time breathing. So, if you're finding during the day that towards the end of the day that your runs are getting more challenging for you to complete, it might not just be the day. And it might not just be what you're eating during the day or how much you slept last night. You might actually be experiencing the consequences of being a little bit dehydrated as the day goes on. I'm a person that doesn't have a large intestine anymore. I have Crohn's. I had to have it surgically removed, and your body takes in 20 to 30% of its water from the large intestine, and also a lot of sodium and potassium too. So I'm a person that experiences electrolyte imbalances and dehydration to like hospitalizable levels very quickly. Why I'm telling you that is that I experience dehydration faster and more intense than the average person. And I'm telling you now, it is really not cool. The things that happen to me are I have a really hard time breathing. Sometimes it gets more challenging even to make it up the stairs in my home, which is not a fitness thing. It truly is a dehydration or electrolyte imbalance issue. So I also get headaches. I also have a hard time thinking. I also get a little bit grumpy or very moody, like sad too. If you're noticing that on a smaller scale, like mine comes on in a much more extreme fashion, and if you're noticing these kinds of things and you just don't feel very good, go have a couple big glasses of cold water and see how you feel in a little bit. Here's a great rehydration or hydration strategy: packing a refillable water bottle and keeping it nearby. I always suggest that my clients do 2 things. Get a water bottle that holds a lot of water, like 4 cups, a liter, a big water bottle. And here's the next, arguably even more important tip: get a water bottle that they love. You got to like the texture of it. You got to like how you hold it. Does it fit into your car? Does it fit in your bag? Do you love the color of it? Loving your water bottle is going to make it a lot more likely that it becomes your Velcro to the hip accessory that it really needs to be. The next hydration strategy is to sip small amounts regularly and not chugging a huge amount of water all at once. Your body can only take in so much fluid at a time. So you just want to sip smaller amounts regularly, like half of a cup at a time. I know I just told you to take a couple of really big cups in when you're feeling dehydrated, And you should still do that. And also for a regular hydration ongoing during your day, smaller amounts kind of regularly is helpful. So when you're picking your water bottle, think about that. Is taking that cap off going to be annoying? Do you prefer a straw? Is having a straw out at a trial going to be uncomfortable for you with the dust? Or I don't love, other people coughing or sneezing around my open water. So I always have a cap, and what I put my lips on is always covered. And that is a non-negotiable for the water bottles that I have. And you might have different non-negotiables. The last thing is to add some electrolytes if it's hot and or you're sweating. You want to look for ones that have lower sugar. And electrolytes are very broad in the amount of different electrolytes that they actually contain. And some of them are a little bit more like fluff, and some of them are more of a medical, like nearing a medical intervention type of rehydration solution. The ones that have some type of label on them, like Liquid IV is one of them, it has really high levels of those elements in it, that they recommend only having one in a day. And that is for a reason, y'all. You can really mess up your electrolyte balance by taking in too much of that stuff. And if you're a regular person and you're not like me, the thing that people generally are draining out of their body when they're sweating or it's hot is sodium. So you can buy electrolytes, and also they're not free. And if what you're losing is sodium, it's totally cool on a hot day or if you're sweating to add some salt to your food. If you hang out with me in person, you will see me adding salt to all of my food and my juices all of the time. So if you run into me somewhere and I'm the only person in line asking for salt to put on their salty stuff, that is why I need to keep my sodium levels up. And you might need to also if it's hot or you're sweating. Obviously, check with your doctor if you have issues with high blood pressure. And if you don't, adding salt to your food is a much cheaper way to make sure you've got adequate sodium levels on hot days. And yeah, guys, coffee is totally fine. And you want to be making sure that you balance it with water. Coffee on its own, in my opinion, is not an adequate fluid for you to really get hydrated in a way that's meaningful. We're going to talk about beating this afternoon crash because this is something that is real. This will take you out, this 2 to 3 p.m. slump, and it is preventable. I hate this slump. Here's the most common reason that it will hit you, and it hits you hard. Blood sugar dips from poor lunch or snack choices. Remember the formula: protein, fat, carbs, fiber. That's the recipe that we want, okay? So if your lunch or snack choices don't have those 4 components in them, you're likely going to experience this afternoon crash. Again, dehydration is huge. This is trial days when you know you've got extra stress, your brain and your body are having bigger asks, so it's even more important to take a little bit better care of what you're putting into the machine that is your badass. Adrenal fatigue from stress or overexertion can also really hit you hard. And the last one, and you're going to love this, under fueling earlier in the day can cumulatively add up to you feeling really exhausted in the afternoon. But it's super easy to fix. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we have like a light, balanced snack before our predictable crash. So like 1 to 2 p.m. This is also a really great formula. We're going to talk about this in the next live about sugar cravings too. The next thing you can do to fix it is to, again, have a big glass of water and or get some electrolytes in you. Going outside for a little bit of fresh air, or you could even have like a bit of a reset, kind of walk around, a little bit of an energy. Sometimes breaking out of what you're doing can help you feel better. One of the best things that you can do for that 2 to 3 p.m. slump, and this is my favorite thing, this is what I advise all of my clients to do, is eat at regular intervals. Y'all, like, don't wait until you're hungry to eat. Don't wait until you're feeling dehydrated to have a drink of water. Like, just get on a schedule. It's okay to feel good all of the time and not wait until you feel like crap to put something good into your body. So eat during the morning and think about that 2 to 3 p.m. slump or crash that you might have as being a symptom of not getting enough food to eat earlier in the day. Here's a few snacks that you can have if you find yourself just really hitting the dust, hitting the gravel road. All right, like a nut bar and maybe a couple chunks of chicken breast or something like that, a banana and some nuts, maybe cottage cheese and some fruit. That's actually way better than you'd think. Cottage cheese with pineapple actually is so good. Or a quick little protein snack. So these are things that are like high protein, they've got some fat, they've got some fiber, they've got some sugar in them, and that can really help that little slump. So if you hit that and you're like, oh, I better go for a big strong coffee, try having a big glass of water and a snack that's got some protein and some sugar and some fats in it. And I pinky promise you on all the stars, you'll feel so good. The next thing we're going to talk about is how you recover with purpose. Because yeah, the day's over, but your body and your brain are still working. Recovery nutrition is really important. And it will support your muscle repair, also your immune function. You ever notice people go to trials and come home and a lot of people are sick? Yeah, you're stressed. And also it's tough to eat properly and also tough to recover properly. So it can really help with immune function, also restoring your energy for the next day. Doesn't matter if you're trialing again the next day or if you're heading home. This stuff matters today and it matters every day. What I want you to do is aim to eat a recovery meal within 90 minutes of finishing your last run. Some simple things, and this isn't going to surprise you, a very nourishing meal with some protein and veggies and some carbs. I don't care what that is. There's, all kinds of different ways. I love this like plate sort of thing, with like a quarter of your plate being protein and a quarter of your plate being carbs and a half of your plate being vegetables. I love that formula. I've been eating like that for the last 25 years. And you know what? I feel great. And when clients start eating that way too, they feel really great. You could also have like a wrap or a sandwich with some lean meat and salad. Again, if you were to put that on a plate, it would be the quarter, half. You could also, if you're not super hungry in the evening, think about like a smoothie with some protein and a banana and some kind of healthy fat in it. If your appetite's low, you can keep it small and easy. That's cool, but don't skip it altogether. And here I got some really hot bonus tip, okay? You might be worth considering including a magnesium-rich food like dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, or you're going to love me for this, even a little bit of dark chocolate, because magnesium will help you recover and it will help you sleep. Who doesn't love a bit of sleep? All right, so here you have it. This is your full trial day fueling plan to keep your brain and body ready for anything. And here's our really quick recap. These are good goals that will leave you feeling so much better. You want to try to eat, well, not try. These are the goals. Eat a healthy, balanced breakfast. Snack strategically throughout the day. Pick a light but satisfying lunch. You want to hydrate some more. And also don't forget your recovery meal. And remember, if it's hot or you're sweating, add some salt to your food and or grabbing some electrolytes can be helpful. And if there's some kind of health warning on them, pay attention to those things. Fueling is one of the most underrated performance tools, and it's completely in our control. A little planning goes a very long way. And the goal here, y'all, is not about having a perfect Instagram ready massage kale green salad on the side perfection, okay? This is just about you getting food into you and water into you that's going to leave you feeling steady and strong and ready to lead your team. And listen, if this episode was helpful, please follow this podcast and leave a review. It helps us reach more handlers that are just like you. You can also head on over to my website at caninehandlerfitness.com for free resources, trial day tips. I got a warm-up guide on there for you, and also performance support tools to help you keep feeling fast, focused, and fantastic. Remember, you want to warm up, fuel up, and go have a great run. I'll see you next time.